You don't drown by falling into water. You drown by staying there. Zig Ziglar could have been talking about me when he said those words, because I had a choice. I decided to choose joy. On May 18th, 2020, my life changed forever, but not for the better. On that day, my beloved, my best friend, my partner, my husband, Barry, took his last breath. 3 months. It took just 3 months for glioblastoma to invade his brain, taking him from a strong, brilliant, healthy 56-year-old man to someone who could not walk, someone who lost his words, someone who could not use the right side of his body. And then, to that moment in time, taking his last breath, surrounded by family and friends. And while that was a major change in my life, it was all the changes I made before that allowed me to know I could handle all of this. Changes began happening exactly 25 years before his death. On that day, Barry and I met. Who I was to become was a result of choosing a life of joy over a life of blame. Now, joy wasn't always the foundation of my life. Imagine being married to a man who lies, cheats, is physically abusive as well as mentally abusive. In my 20s, I was married to that man. When I finally woke up and left, I was filled with anger, rage, hate. How could someone so smart be so stupid? I began blaming everyone for everything that was wrong in my life. Anger, rage, hate. I was pissed at the world. And yet, with all those charming qualities, I was able to meet the man of my dreams, the man I would spend the best 25 years of my life with. I hear the words all the time. You're so strong. You're an inspiration. I don't know how you do it. To that last comment, the answer is, you have no other choice. As I go through this journey of mourning, rebirth, a new, different life, I realize that the person I have become is the only person that could handle all of this. But how did I go from being angry at the world to being able to handle this immense loss? It happened a little at a time. I became resilient. We became resilient by building a life of joy and gratitude. Resilience is a word that we are hearing so much of these days, but what does it mean? How does one become resilient? It's different for everyone. To be resilient is to be able to pivot, to be able to handle change. To be resilient is, to paraphrase Webster, to be able to overcome difficult conditions. Life is full of difficult conditions. Life is full of opportunities for us to see our resilience. In my experience, a life of joy builds a life of resilience. Now, joy doesn't mean you're always happy. It doesn't mean life is always going your way. To be in joy means you see the silver lining. To be in joy means you have an attitude of gratitude no matter what. No matter what. There are a number of changes that you can make to add more joy to your life and to build resiliency. But here are my top 3. These are the changes that I made that are allowing me to move forward even in the midst of unbearable sorrow and pain. Because when one is resilient, there is joy. You react differently to things. Life and all its ups and downs is just a little bit easier to handle. So, first things first. How I react to life is 100% my responsibility. You know, once upon a time, everything in the world happened to me. I got fired from a job because my boss was an asshole. All men were cheaters and liars. I was never going to have an easy life. Things were always going to be hard for me. Story after story after story. And you know, none of it was true. It was me. The first thing Barry taught me was to look at life differently. Things may happen to me, around me, in spite of me. How I choose to react is how the situation will turn out for me. The ad agency that I was working at had lost a major client. One by one, the team was let go. I was one of the few remaining, and I worked hard to keep my job. Now, I'd also just graduated as a massage therapist, but I was too scared to start a new career. Then I was laid off. Now, while I cursed and pouted, Barry pointed out that this was the kick in the ass I needed to start my new career. And for the next 10 years, I was a therapist with an amazing practice. He was right. Number 2, smile and be happy. I'm not talking stupid happy, you know, always seeing the sunshine and roses and never the reality of a situation. Barry always had a smile on his face, always brought joy to everyone. That smile could light up a room. He could make anyone laugh. Now, usually, it was an inappropriate joke or comment. Still, everyone laughed. Happy people are kind to others. Learn that skill from them. It's easy to share a smile, to make a joke, to show a little kindness, to brighten someone's day. Barry had that ability. He could light up a room. He could make anyone smile, be happy, see the lighter side of life. I learned to be a little bit kinder. Now, it wasn't that I was this unkind, uncaring, unhappy person. It's just that I had an amazing role model to show me how to be a little bit kinder. And finally, I learned to be grateful for everything, good, bad, or indifferent. There is a silver lining. There is something to be grateful about. We had an attitude of gratitude with whatever we did, saying please and thank you to each other all the time, truly appreciating every moment of every day that we had together. We never knew how short of a time we actually had together. Since his passing in 2020, I learned to be more grateful than crying, more smiling and happy. I learned to choose gratitude over hopelessness, despair, Do I feel all those things? Yes, all the time. But I move past it, or at least I can calm it down with gratitude. My husband died unexpectedly at 56. Grateful? Yeah, not for his death, but for the circumstances surrounding it. Our dear friend Suzanne was with me as the surgeon explained that Barry was unresponsive and would not come out of a coma. I had a decision to make. I could not think. I promise you, none of you can when you have to decide to take the man you love, the person you love, off of life support. Through her own tears, her own grief, Suzanne asked the questions for me, questions I did not have the strength to ask. Stephanie's a hospice nurse. When she found out that Barry was in a coma, she asked me, "Do you want him to die at home?" "Yes, of course," I replied. "Are you sure?" she said. "Because you will live with that memory as long as you live in that house." No doubt in my mind, he would die at home. And so Stephanie put her job and her reputation on the line to bring my husband home to die in the middle of the COVID pandemic. Friends and family came to sit with me. They held his hand. They spoke to him. They kissed his head. The more gratitude I have in my heart, the more people show up to help me. I am grateful for all these people. They allowed me to bring my husband home. They allowed Barry to die with dignity, surrounded by those he loved. I am grateful to everyone. Because I am more resilient with help. Now, resilience, in my experience, doesn't come from being hard and closed off. It comes from being open to give, open to receive, open to love, open to trust, open to learn. Because when we are open, we allow joy in our lives, and joy builds resiliency. My life moves forward a little each day. My life goes back a little each day, too. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 or 2 steps back. Together, we created more joy in our lives, and that joy makes me more resilient right now. That resilience allows me to go on. It allows me to want to live more. And I want to leave this place to be with my husband. I invite you to try adding one of these things to your life. Maybe add one more. Come up with your own list of things that bring you joy and make you more resilient. There is no blame. Don't look for the answers out there. The answers are inside of you. As for me, I know why people tell me I'm strong, I'm an inspiration. It's because when my best friend, my partner, my husband, my Barry passed away, I was able to move forward with him in my heart because we built a life of joy and created resilience.